Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for April 6th, 2014. It's currently 8:47 a.m. It's a bit chilly out there. Actually, temperatures crashed into the 20s over eastern Long Island this morning. You can thank that due to radiational cooling, which is when the skies clear out, you have no clouds, you have light winds, and all the heat in the lower portion of the atmosphere is able to escape. And if you have a dry air mass in place, like where you have your dew points around 24, 21, those temperatures can crash, and they sure did over eastern Long Island and in many locations throughout the northern mid-Atlantic this morning. But with the sun up, temperatures are rapidly rebounding already into the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior and upper 30s along the coast. Now, for today, it's going to be absolutely beautiful out. We're going to have high pressure over the entire region. Clear skies, winds from the west veering to the southwest at around 5 to 15 miles per hour, and temperatures rising into the upper 50s to lower 60s. So it's going to be a pretty nice day out there for any of your outdoor plans. Or let's say if you're going to the Mets game, absolutely beautiful conditions out there. As you can see on the surface map, high pressure is in control. That's this big blob right here. This high pressure system will slide off to the east today and tonight. If you have any plans to go to the Yankees game or Phillies game tomorrow, look, you're going to be absolutely fine. The showers will hold off until well after the game is over unless you go into long extended extra innings. I mean, let's talk about like 19, 20 innings, okay? So hopefully that doesn't happen. You get done in 9 innings. It's going to be dry. It's going to be comfortable. A nice southwesterly wind, which means the ball will fly out of there a little bit faster, and it's going to be very comfortable out. Meanwhile, this storm that's developing out here in the Gulf of Mexico, well, this is going to cause a lot of problems for us Monday night into Tuesday with periods of moderate to heavy rainfall. So it looks like it's going to be pretty nasty out there Monday night. Luckily, the game should be done by then. On the radar, you can see right now, clear and dry over here over the northeast and northern Mid-Atlantic. Here's our storm brewing here. Now we have a lot of convection, which means a lot of thunderstorms with this system, with the potential for some severe weather. All of this moisture is going to lift north and east towards the northern mid-Atlantic by Monday night, producing anywhere from an inch to possibly as much as 2 inches of rain. Now, a little caveat here. If we have a lot of severe weather over the southeast, say around North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, those locations, or even up into Virginia, then that robs the moisture for us. So the more severe weather that develops down here, the less rainfall develops here because it robs all the moisture in the atmosphere for those thunderstorms. On the latest infrared satellite picture, you can see high pressures in control, clear skies, and here's our storm brewing out here around the western Gulf of Mexico that will lift north and east. Now on the water vapor satellite picture, you can see some interesting aspects here to the pattern. One, we have a trough here once again developing around the Gulf of Alaska. That will teleconnect to a trough in the east that will keep us pretty much near normal in temperatures for the most part moving forward through the rest of the week, which actually is going to be rather pleasant. We also have a very active subtropical jet stream here. And you see this disturbance here? This is what's going to create our rainstorm for Monday night into Tuesday. Also notice, you see there's a bit of a bend here. Say hello to our developing southeast ridge. Now, with an El Nino pattern, which is clearly starting to develop, what you typically have here is the southeast ridge being pushed more towards, let's say, Florida. Rather than being a dominant feature, it becomes more of a assistant feature. See, with La Nina patterns, the southeast ridge builds, you get a deep trough in the west, and a nice big ridge in the east. But with El Nino patterns, what you end up with is a bit of a split pattern here with a weak southeast ridge and a trough in the east and just a mess of active weather over the eastern two-thirds of the United States. And especially for the mid-Atlantic where you get these low pressure systems developing in the Gulf, getting pushed north of this southeast ridge and heading right towards the mid-Atlantic, which means rainstorms almost every week. Hey, at the very least, we won't be dealing with a drought. So that's some good news at the very least. So you got a nice little good green lawn built out there, or maybe a garden. I would say garden, because then that way you can have tomatoes, cucumbers, and all that stuff. So let's take a look at the pattern here, and let's take a look at the latest model guidance from the Penn State eWall website. An excellent website for your model guidance. It's free, and it's from Penn State. Can't go wrong there. So we're going to use the GFS model, guys, because all the models are pretty much in agreement here. Now, for this afternoon, again, high pressure's in control. Temperatures rebound into the upper 50s to lower 60s. Around Long Island, probably more like mid-50s because of the ocean influence. For tonight, clear skies again. Temperatures falling into the mid to upper 30s. There's a chance with radiational cooling that temperatures will crash down towards the 20s in some locations, even eastern Long Island once again, because we're pretty much setting up almost a similar scenario with high pressure right overhead, clear skies, light winds. So we got to watch that and see how that evolves. For tomorrow, with the Yankee game, high pressure is in control, and Phillies game, can't forget the Phillies. High pressure is in control. Dry conditions through the afternoon and into the early evening hours. Then our low pressure system approaches. Now, you see how this pressure gradient is pretty tight? That means we're going to have a strong southeasterly wind, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. We have moisture on the way. Clouds will be increasing. By the time we get to the late evening hours, heavy rain will be moving into the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Now, you see this right here? This is the warm front. If the warm front moved north of the entire region, then what we'll be dealing with then is severe weather. But it looks like it just stays just south, and by the time it moves to the north of the region, the cold front's right on us. So what we're going to be dealing with is a stiff southeasterly to easterly wind around 10 to 20 miles per hour, making it for a raw day on Wednesday. Now, watch what happens here. Now, on Tuesday, ahead of this storm. Now, all right, let's go back to Monday. Monday, look for temperatures in the upper 30s to lower 40s, highs in the mid to upper 50s. On Tuesday, look for temperatures in the upper 40s to lower 50s and lows in the lower to mid 60s. Now, let's move forward into the rest of the day on Tuesday. You can see that cold front move through. Now, the key point here is that on the model, guys, the warm front finally moves through in the afternoon hours, and that's kind of the idea for the temperatures to warm up. Pardon me, I made a little mistake there. So we have that warm front move through north. Now here's the problem with this forecast for Tuesday. So I want to be straight up with you. Right now, lower to mid 60s for highs. If that warm front stalls, you're going to be stuck in the 50s all day. And I'm not talking about 59. I'm talking about like 50. So we're going to have to watch to see exactly how fast and how far north this warm front gets over the next 24 hours, because there's a slight chance that this warm front does not move north and we get stuck in the 50s, and it's one of those rainy, drizzly days that everyone hates. So have to watch that on Tuesday afternoon. By Wednesday, the cold front is well off the coast. We have clearing skies, comfortable weather conditions. Cooler though, because we have a polar air mass in place. Lows in the lower to mid 40s, highs in the mid 50s. On Thursday, high pressure is in control, and that means, of course, clear skies with a southwesterly wind developing, and temperatures in the mid 30s for lows and lower to mid 60s for highs. Pretty much near normal for this time of year. For Friday, again, we have a weak cold front moving through. It kind of collapses as it's approaching the region. Look for scattered cloud cover and a southwesterly wind in the afternoon ahead of this cold front, leading to temperatures in the mid 40s for lows and mid to upper 60s for highs. And now on Saturday, this cold front moves through, but it doesn't really have much of a punch to it. It doesn't really change the air mass. It just pretty much makes it a little bit drier. And you get a little bit of a downsloping wind, and that means the temperatures next Saturday will be in the mid 40s for lows and mid 60s for highs. Pretty much normal for this time of year. So that is your forecast discussion for today. Again, the big volatility in the forecast is basically Tuesday. If the warm front moves north, hey, we're in the mid 60s, upper 60s possibly, with the threat for a few thunderstorms. If the warm front does not move north, then we're stuck in the 50s, and it's one of those raw, wet, drizzly type days on Tuesday afternoon. So that's what we're going to have to watch out for as we move forward. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. As always, stay safe out there.